What's up, guys? Super excited this week. Alex, how excited are you?
I'm beyond excited. It's really cool.
Super excited. We got a lady of the hour, of the month, of the this year, next year. We've got Paige Pierce.
How's it going?
Paige, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure we are like the thousandth people to welcome you to the team, but welcome to the team. We're so excited to have you. We're looking so forward to everything you're doing with Discraft, and I feel like the season seems like it's really far away, but I'm sure for you it's probably going to come up pretty quick.
Yeah, it is coming up quick. I feel like, every day I wish was a little bit longer because we have so many projects in the works. It's hard to get everything accomplished and still find time to practice. So I'm like, first of all, as soon as I wake up, going out and practicing just to make sure because, I mean, you can easily get in the swing of things and just lose track of time. So I think it's going to go by pretty quick. And just like you guys, I'm super excited.
Awesome. Well, it's obviously been a little bit of a little while since you've thrown Discraft. What is it like coming back to Discraft, and what's changed since 2013?
I mean, a lot more discs are available. So, it has been a while, but I feel like, I really study my discs. And so I still remember how they fly. I still remember certain shots I threw with them, even. So I remember a bunch of old favorites, of course. So more so now it's like refamiliarizing myself with them and then also trying a bunch of the new molds that they've released in that time frame that I wasn't throwing Discraft.
Yeah, I think we got a post on the Discraft all day page, which I admin, looking for a couple of specific discs
Yeah.
that you kind of put out a search for. We're gonna find them, but for anybody that might have an old Paige Pierce disc, head on over to Discraft all day. Check out the page. Check out the post. It's in the announcements. I'm trying to find two discs, I think.
Yeah, I really am looking for a couple old stalkers that I had. One of them is just like a more so of a memorabilia thing that I should have kept. But yeah, back in the day, Paul Ulibarri, do you guys remember his saying PLP? Like back in the day, everyone would just put PLP on things, and he just made it up. Yuli's just such a goofball, and it got everyone asking, "What is that? What is that?" It was like around the time LOL and BRB and all that stuff was out. He just wanted to create a 3-word thing that people would ask about, and really, in his mind, it's just a fart noise. Like that's what he thinks. And I thought it was hilarious, and it was just like an ongoing joke. So I dyed it on a disc, and it was on one of my favorite stalkers. So just looking for that back, and yeah, a baby blue one that's just stock stamp. It's probably going to be hard to find because my name's definitely worn off by now. But it was, I would say, the disc that I threw the most when I was on Discraft, and it's just nice to have a trusty old friend with you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, obviously, there's been some new molds that you've kind of talked about. What are some things, if you can say, that you're kind of trying out aside from some old trusty favorites?
Yeah, I was told that I can't talk too much about that because we want to make sure to save some excitement for the in the bag that's coming up. But of course, you guys know that, we're making a new putter. So that one I'm super excited about. I think the putter was the biggest deal for me because it's the one disc that you use on every single hole. So that was super important to me that we figured that out first and foremost. And yeah, I think other than that, I think stuff that I'm allowed to say is I'm super excited that I get my name on the Tour Series Buzz.
Yeah.
And I've been throwing the buzz a lot these past couple months. Well, weeks, I guess. Time flies. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just started crushing the buzz again, and I just love how much power you can put on it and how straight it goes. It's a disc that everybody needs to bag, and I think everyone watching the show has at least one buzz in their bag. So
yeah,
I'm glad to join that party.
Definitely a mold that has stood the test of time and pros of all level. If you're not throwing a buzz, you got to get one in the bag. Alex, I know you're working on it.
Yep, working on it.
So let's talk a little bit about the Profiled series then that you worked on with Jomez. Everybody knows about how great they are filming on the course, but what was it like to work with those guys off the course?
Man, it was super awesome, and they were actually very excited because so the profiled videos that they shot during Worlds with Kevin Jones, James Conrad, and Emerson,
Mm-hmm.
they loved them and they liked that part of it where they could kind of show the world, hoping that these would go outside of disc golf and hoping to show the world the characters that disc golf has.
Yeah.
And they loved this concept, but they felt like a little bit of pressure and just like uncertainty on how it would go in just shooting right before their round for the day. So they
Yeah.
filmed those the morning before the boys played at like 2 p.m.
Oh wow.
So they had a couple hours to do those. And with me, it wasn't during a tournament and it was during the off season. So they actually spent 4 days at my house. And so anything that we thought wasn't perfect, we would reshoot it. And, even when we would get the money shot, they would say, all right, let's do it one more time just for safety. And, so it was really cool to be able to take so much time and spend so much of our brain power on making sure every aspect of it was exactly how we wanted it. So it was really cool working with them and just seeing how serious they take it, but also how much fun they're having while they're doing it.
It was something that, like, I saw some of the comments and it rang true. It really felt like you were watching like an HBO special or something. Like the production quality and like obviously the story even was just so powerful.
Yeah, and some of this too, I don't know if I'm allowed to say all this, but little snippets I think are fine. But because there's a behind the series, behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one more video still, and it's behind the scenes. So you're gonna see some of this in there too. But they actually rented camera gear that they were geeking out about, like
no way.
geeking out, and they said that the lenses that we used were the same lenses that Peter Jackson used to film Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And so they were like holding them and like it was funny. Like it was so funny to see them like holding them and like, oh, I hope I'll see you again one day.
That's
like,
great.
Talking to the lenses and stuff. So it was really cool to just have the best guys in the game and have the best equipment that they've even ever used.
That's so cool. I feel like such a big part of that was your dad in that video. He's basically a celebrity at this point from being in there. But just talk a little bit about what it was like to work with your dad, who's obviously your number one supporter. And even though it was a short video, I felt like you got so much of you guys' relationship from that video.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's funny because that was something that was super last minute to have my dad in it. We had already had it planned out and like, like a drawing board made up of like, what was gonna be about, what the scenes were gonna be, and all that. And we were to the last step, which was who do we want to narrate it? Who do we want the voiceover to be? And a thought was Paul Macbeth because in the little teaser one, there was no pronouns. If you notice that, like for I think a minute and 45 seconds or something, and for the first minute and 35 seconds, you didn't know if it was a boy or a girl even.
Yeah,
purposely. So but it was about like a champion, 5-time world champion and greatest of all time. And so it was a thought to maybe we should do Paul's voice because people won't know that it's about me, and to keep them guessing. And then it was a thought of, well, what if it's Hannah? Because she's got a great commentary voice and a great all around voice, but you know what I mean? She's good at commentary. And, since she's Paul's wife, it could be like she was talking about Paul. So, you know what I mean? So we were throwing around ideas like that left and right. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want, like, people are already going to be comparing me to Paul all the time. And I love Paul, but I don't want him to be involved on this project because I want it to be my announcement. And so Juan was like, well, then who taught you how to play? And I was like, my dad. And I just started talking about my dad for a minute. And he's like, call him, let me hear his voice. My dad, and I had him on mute and just told my dad to talk. I was like, hey, tell me a story. And I just like muted him, and Juan was like, this is perfect. He's perfect. And so I was with all the Jomez guys, and we called Bob and John at Discraft, and we just said, hey, we have a change of plans. Do you guys trust us? Like, I know it's last minute. We're supposed to shoot this video tomorrow, but we really think this is the way we want to go. And they were both silent for a minute, and then they were like, yeah, I can picture that in my head. It would be good. Let's do that. Let's do it. We trust you guys. Make it happen, whatever. And the next, I think it was 3 days later, they were all in Plano and we were filming.
Man, so cool. Well, kudos to Bob and John for making the right choice on that one, because the video there's so many things. I mean, it was a cinematic video that motivated, inspired. It also kind of got you in the feels a little bit with your dad in there. So
yeah,
super awesome video. We're gonna jump to our giveaway, and I'm really excited about this one. This one looks pretty close to the one that was actually in that Jomez video. I wonder if it was just maybe in the same stack or same run.
Whoa.
But I actually have two super nice pearly swirly stalkers.
Yeah, the pearly ones are the ones.
Yes, these ones are so nice. There's some blue swirls in the purple. They're super, super awesome. So we're going to give these away. Both of them are going to go to one person. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. And to enter, you need to comment, one comment per person. Comment a disc that you think Paige Pierce should definitely be bagging, other than the buzz, because obviously the buzz is going to be in there.
All right. How about a disc that, if there's one disc that's going in my bag that nobody's going to expect. And how about if they guess that disc, they get something too.
Oh, okay.
Bonus.
Upping the ante. Well, speaking of discs, I kind of have one real quick question, because I know you've got some details you can't really get to, but and then I have a bigger question. So we talked a lot about Jomez. Might you be doing a similar Build the Bag series with them in the near future, or is that still under wraps?
I don't think I'm going to do it that way. Just like I said, I don't want to do the same things as Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he did amazing things and people loved it. But that's like, we can take that as inspiration and do something new. Because I do think people love the fact that it wasn't in the bag. It was, okay, I'm trying this. I like it in this plastic. I think that was super insightful, and also something where, unsponsored and sponsored players both could benefit from that, because, for me in particular, like when I'm switching back to Discraft, I remember the molds I liked, but now there's even new plastics. So like, am I going to use the big Z? Am I going to use titanium? So I think that was super insightful, and I want to kind of channel that, but we're thinking of some other ways to like make it more me.
Yeah, nice. I mean, speaking of making it you have a new putter coming out, and you were talking about how deep into that process you were. Can you talk about that process a bit, and kind of what's it like to be able to design your own disc?
Yeah, I mean, so when negotiations were starting, that was one of my like top things on the list, was like I would want to build my own putter, because I've been with 3 companies now, and I've always had a putter that worked, but there was an aspect about it that wasn't perfect. You maybe like the feel of it, or you love how it flies, or you love how it looks, but I've never had one that combined all of the things. And so to like create one exactly how I want it was something that I just was like, at the time, just thought was wishful thinking. But they were like, yeah, no problem. And I was like, whoa, okay, I should ask for 5, Yeah, so I think that that's how it started, just me asking to do so, and then they asked me right away, what do you want it to fly like? And I said, I want it to be dead straight. I love the Deputy because it wasn't an overstable putter, but the Deputy was almost a little too flippy. And so when the wind would pick up, I would have issues putting at longer distances. So I told them I want it to be straight, but not quite as flippy as the Deputy. But I also think it's like um, almost like back in the day, there was no straight putters. There was only overstable putters. And so people just got accustomed to that and started to develop their putting stroke around an overstable putter. And so I just wanted to, first and foremost, I want it to be straight. The flight is the most important thing. But then once we accomplished that, we also kind of messed with how it would feel. And so, there's people who prefer soft or hard. I don't want it to be like a brick, but I want it to be stiff so there's no like give, so that the release is clean. But I also want it to be like grippy. So kind of like mixing some plastics around and just experimenting with that. And, you saw them, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah.
They're beautiful swirls and jawbreaker hints in there. So it's like kind of a blend of all things beautiful that Discraft makes. And then the feel, like as far as the rim, was very important to me as well, because I think putting grip is something that you can't really teach. Like, I'm sure all three of us have different putting grips, and there's nothing wrong with any three of ours. It's just how it feels comfortable and how it's coming off clean. And so I wanted it to feel very universal to everybody in their hand. So there was like, I want it to be very flat on the top, and then the rim, I want to be pretty uniformed so that no matter how you grip it, it feels the same in everyone's hand.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I told them those three things were like my most important things, and we kind of just tried things here and there. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it, but that's the basis of it. They're the scientists behind making discs. So once I spoke those things to them, they started trying things, and as it would come off the press, I would be like, oh, that one's a little too soft. Or after it would cool down, you have to wait for it to cool down, and after it would cool down, putt with it a few times, and oh no, that one kind of dives down. That one's not like glidey enough. I want more glide, so stuff like that. And just like, having their machines right there with them is something that's very unique. And just the way that we can just adapt to it was just so awesome. I can't even wait.
Awesome. So, yeah, you say you can't wait for the discs to come out. Are there any other plans in the work for new discs? Is there a Paige Pierce line? Is that something that's coming down the way?
Yeah, I mean, I get 5 signature discs off the bat, and then a tour series, and then with the possibility of getting more down the line for sure. But yeah, I think that it's not so much of like what's in the contract as much as it is like what works. If they realize that this straight putter is what people have been wanting and they just didn't know it, then we can see that and take the numbers and realize, okay, she's onto something. Like, let's listen to her next idea, and just kind of go from there. There's no real limit, is what I was told, that this is your starting point, and let's figure out how everything goes and go from there.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
It's so cool to see something so personal to you, because one of the things that I've got from a lot of the other interviews is that you're so passionate not only about the sport but also what, like, actually creating things, making things happen. And and I mean, to that point, we have a fan question that's along those lines, but more in the actual people sense. Where do you see specifically women's disc golf in the next few years, as you're very involved in bringing the sport to the masses, bringing the sports to everybody. But how can people grow the sport, especially the women's division? We got that from Alex Tews. So
cool. Yeah, good question, Alex. I think that it's mostly just gaining awareness and showing that the women's competitive side is worth your watch. I think a lot of people, I personally get a lot of comments and messages from people saying how much they enjoy watching it and stuff like that, but still somehow we're not getting those numbers. And that is what speaks to the media crews and the people that sponsor the videos, and it just goes up from there. But we just really need to share the videos.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy it, share it, and don't just hit share on Facebook. Like, go show your best friend, go show your sister, go show all these people and get them excited. And if they're not excited about it, ask them why. Like, oh, it didn't keep your interest, why? And just finding ways to get people to enjoy it more and just gain more awareness, because it's a tangible number when it says that men's world championship round got 150,000 views and the women's got 40. Of course, we're not going to get as much footage or, be taken as seriously or get paid as much, because as much as these people are reaching out saying how amazing it is, we're not getting the numbers that are tangible. So yeah, we just need to keep sharing them and get more views. And I think, players like me and Kristen, Hokum, and Missy Gannon were talking at the Green Mountain Championships. I remember we finished a round and there was like a bunch of food trucks, and we just all grabbed food and sat down at this table together, and we were just chatting after a round. And we were just talking about that, like the women's views and what do we got to do to get more views. And I said, well, watch, Kale. I was like, both of them are amazing golfers score-wise, but Simon's more exciting. Like, it might get you more double bogeys, but y'all got to start running some putts, because they're always making fun of me when I airball and go in the water or something, or, whatever it is. Like, you're crazy. Why did you go for that? I was like, dude, if I would have made that, so it's like, it's worth it, plus it's worth it for yourself personally. When you hit an 80 footer, you are amped. So for me, I think about that as I'm walking up to my lie, and I weigh the pros and cons, and 99.9% of the time I run it, because it's worth it. And I think that, after that conversation that we had, I spoke to Kristen, like, on a deeper level, and she came up to me at US Women's after it ended, and she actually won. And she said, I said, those putts that you were hitting, on that second day. And I just talked to her about like 3 specific putts. And she said, it was something that you said to me at Green Mountain, that we have to do this. We have to do it for the fans, and we have to do it for ourselves. And so, I think that, I'm just going to try to keep pushing my competitors to do this. And I think that it'll make us all play better and get better scores. And then also it'll be more exciting for the fans. And then will hopefully lead to more sponsorship into women's disc golf.
That's awesome.
I think one of the big ideas that I've shared with a lot of people is trying to get more women invested in women's disc golf too. If you're a woman that owns a business geared towards women, consider investing in disc golf. I think the platform is there. It's growing. It's great opportunities in terms of investment dollars. You're not spending $1 million to run a commercial. It's a relatively small investment, and it goes a long way to supporting women in disc golf. So
absolutely. And I encourage you guys too, if you don't like the video you just watched, don't just hit the thumbs down button. Comment why you didn't like it. That's okay to not like it. Like, we all have opinions, but comment why, so that we can read that and take that into consideration on the next video.
That's awesome. That's the honest truth. and it's wild because you talking about how towards the end of the season you brought up this people like running things going big, and then I mean some of the last tournaments for the women. So the one that sticks out to me is the DGPT Tour Championship final. That last round was absolutely insane. Like going down the stretch, like at any point anybody could have taken it, and everybody was going for it and going bigger and bigger, and I think that's part of it. And then I mean yourself on your website you're talking about incentives for people just getting out there, right? Going out and following.
Yeah, that was actually Bob's idea. He I talked about this on Smashbox, so I'll keep it brief, but you know, he had the idea of, or he just had the vision that, you know, me and Mike followed you guys at Worlds, and then we followed the men, and the gallery size was an astronomical difference. You know, you guys actually had a big gallery, but the men's was 10 times the size. And so he was just asking me questions like, how do you think that we can grow that? Like, what can we do to, as your sponsor, to help grow that? And so we're just, you know, that's our first idea, the Paige Pierce powwow. You can read about it on my website, but that's our first idea. We're obviously not limiting to one idea. We're brainstorming a bunch and trying to figure out what we can do to get that gallery size up, because those people are already at the tournaments. You know, they just want to wake up a couple hours earlier to come watch us. And, you know, I think everyone could use a couple more 100 steps in their day and see some exciting women play disc golf.
Oh yeah, one more before we get to your rapid fires, Wes. I do have you alluded to maybe playing some NPO next year. Are there any events that you are thinking specifically, or is that just kind of a drop in the bucket thought?
No, it's not a specific yet. Obviously, USDC, but yeah, it's kind of going to be like maybe some of those A tiers. I don't think I'll do it at any NTs or Pro Tours, but some A tiers maybe, if Jomez is there and not covering the women, but they're covering the men. Maybe I would go do that. Just kind of like weigh the pros and cons and see, you know, what good could come of it.
Awesome. Nice. Wes, I think you've got some fun ones to round this out.
Yeah, so we're gonna round it out with some rapid fires. If you've seen the videos before, we got some goofy ones in there, and then we're gonna finish with maybe one that'll get a little people talking. It's not super controversial, but I think it's a fun one.
Well, are these? Am I supposed to do one-word answers, or how does this work?
Yeah, just
as quick as you can. As quick as you can.
Right. If you need a second to think about them, feel free to take a moment to reflect.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm in trouble, but I'll rapid them.
Ice cream or cake?
Oh, ice cream.
Winter retreat or summer getaway?
Ooh, both.
No, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick one.
Okay. Winter.
Kayaking adventure or a fishing trip?
Fishing.
How many world titles?
On a kayak. Come on, both again.
That's cheating. How many world titles do you want to have by the end of your career?
20.
Ooh. More satisfying. I think we kind of got an answer for this one. More satisfying, big putt or huge drive?
Big putt.
Favorite state that you've traveled to?
Oregon.
Oh. One place that you're dying to go. It can be a restaurant. It can be a country. Anywhere just Paige Pierce wants to go.
Ooh, the Galapagos Islands.
Ooh, I like that one. Open field bomb. Are you going Annie flex or Heiser flip?
Ooh. For pure distance, Annie flex. But Heiser flips are just so gorgeous. It's like the fun shot. But for pure bomb, Annie flex. Yeah.
Fair. You got a 2-stroke lead. You got a 20-foot putt that you're probably going to make. Are you laying it up or are you running it?
No way. I'm running it.
Yeah.
20 feet? I'm running it.
30 feet.
30 feet. Is there water behind it?
Nah.
No.
I'm running it.
I feel like you would have run it even if there was water behind it.
Well, I mean, really the key is just to look at the chains, you know?
Yeah.
It's a giant basket. The basket is so big. Like, just look at the chains. Like
the basket seems awfully small for me when I'm putting. We got our last question. More world titles by the end of their career, you or Macbeth?
Ooh, me.
Yeah. Okay. Betting. Nice. Well, wonderful.
I'm 1 year younger, and there's less women in the division, so
yeah,
I kind of have an advantage.
So, Wes, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, well, we want to remind people about the giveaway for these 2 stalkers. Comment let's say, 1 disc that you really think should be in Paige's bag, or the 1 disc that Paige, was it a signature disc?
No, it's a guess what is going, but we don't think it is going to be. It's a mystery disc.
Mystery disc that is probably going to be in your bag.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I
think that's more like a long-term giveaway, though, right? We'll just do another one of those later.
Okay.
And you can look back at your comments and be like, I told you so. I called it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, with all that said, I think we will open the floor to you, Paige. Do you have anything you want to say, talk about, bring up? Thanks, anything like that?
Yeah. So today is Wednesday. Sorry. So Friday, we're PaigePierce.com. We're gonna have 50 more of the signed pre-release putters.
Sweet.
Or not even before the pre-release. This is testing stages. There's only 100 of these made. 50 sold last Friday. 50 more this coming Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I've been told. 50 of them. All 50 of these are signed and numbered with a special stamp. There's pictures of them on Discraft all day and stuff like that. But if you don't get those, you can hop over to discraft.com at noon Eastern, and they'll have some more that aren't signed though, and they are a test flight stamp, and they have a photo of those right now on discraft.com if you want to check them out. Also, we just found out yesterday that they're also going to release some crystal. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know their wording of it, but it's so in 2011 when I got the TI Stalker, it's that same mold with the same engraving up top. So it says 2011 World Champion TI Stalker. So it's the same mold with that same engraving, but they're running it in crystal plastic. So they're releasing, I think, only 500 of those also on Friday at Eastern. So it's pretty exciting. They found the mold in the back of the warehouse. They said they polished it up and they started running them today. And actually, let me show you a super sneak peek.
Ooh, sneak peek.
Sorry, can you see this?
Oh, whoa. That is nasty.
So they're gonna have some colors. I saw the Instagram teaser was like a clear one. Oh, that's so cool.
That's crazy.
Sorry, Bob.
I need at least 2.
Yeah, so check it out on Friday. Also, there's so many things. Can I do one more?
Yeah, how about it? It's all yours.
So also the Behind the Disc episode just dropped maybe 15 minutes ago. So check that out for more info on the putter, like the whole process of making them, throwing them, all that. It's 3 minutes worth of me talking about the putter and showing you all about the process of making it and all that. So I haven't even seen it yet because we've been doing this interview, but I got a text message saying it just released. So I'm going to go watch it when we get off here too.
Cool. Well, if at the end of the day you're at the end of your round, you have to do one more thing, Wes, and what's that?
There's only one thing to do to finish your round. You gotta make that putt.
Oh. And also don't forget to subscribe because subscribers make numbers, and as Paige was talking about earlier, numbers make sense. So what do you have one more thing, Paige?
PaigePierce.com. Check it out. Oh yeah, $1 per disc sold from now until Tuesday is going to a nonprofit organization called Disc Golf Universal Play, or Universal Play Disc Golf. So go check it out. all that info is on my website. Go check it out.